Most goal setting systems have you jump into defining your vision for the year. But doing so is going to skip over an important part of your goal achievement because your goals don't really matter if you're not committed to achieving them. And so just think about this. How many resolutions have you made that you didn't keep? This year, you're going to change that with starting with the assessment that we're going to go through today. And today I'm sharing my personal annual review process to set you on a better path to goal achievement than you've ever done before. You see, the assessment you're going to learn is a portion of my personal planner, but you can get a 30-day sample to use in your own life and business by going to thearlandofortune.com/30-day planner. You can see that down below the video, or you can catch this in the comments down below. Now, you get a 30-day sample there of the fortune planner that's discussed in this episode of the Thought Fortune Show. You can use it to document your 3 major goals, your personal statements, plan your weeks, and track your daily activities. Now, there's a little more for you to do before you get to that portion, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So stay right here for an explanation on all 4 of those items and more in today's show. My name is Fortune. I'm the author of 3 books and a self-publishing strategist for established coaches and consultants who want to write a book and use that book to grow their business. And I've created a proprietary method of getting your book out of your head in less than 4 hours using a phone and a few websites. This show teaches you how to do that and build the sales funnels to turn your leads into clients and customers. Remember, you're only one book away from a breakthrough in your life or business. So let's talk about your thought fortune. Full disclosure, I only give the full fortune planner to my personal clients and mentees. Now, I uploaded the document to Amazon and I never made it live for others to purchase because I just wanted a way to print out copies when I wanted them. So that's a hint for those of you who want to create your own planners or documents you want them printed out, but you don't want to sell them. You can upload them and print them for yourself. So what I'm sharing with you today is my personal annual review process that will set you on a better path to goal achievement than you've ever done. Now, you're going to want a pen and a paper to write down these self-reflection questions that I'm going to go over because you won't be able to get them otherwise. Now, while you grab a pen and a paper, I'll tell you how I came up with this planner, because these questions and the RACE formula literally took me from a drug addict with no idea how I'd ever fulfill my dreams to a best-selling author helping people from all over the world to share their stories and transform lives. I've been in network marketing for years, off and on. And I learned a lot about personal development and about goal setting. And I still ended up in jail. I applied the principles of positive psychology and social psychologies and to my attitudes, my beliefs, and I changed them and still didn't do a whole lot for my achievements. I studied goal setting theory and high performance psychology to determine the best strategies for goal achievement. It was fun as a nerd doing that stuff, but it was a scripture that put it all together. And I'm not trying to push my faith on you, just want to tell you what it was. So this first scripture I had is called is Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2:2 said that then the Lord replied, "Write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it." So you got to make it plain so people can understand what you are doing, right? So if someone else can understand your goal and your path where you're trying to go to, then it's also going to be easier for you to actually go apply and execute your own plan. So we got to actually write down the plan, which is what we're going to talk about here very shortly. The next scripture is 1 Corinthians 9:24-27, but I'm going to focus on 24, which says, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize?" Here's the key portion for me. "Run in such a way as to get the prize." Which means which is part of the reason why we have the RACE formula, right? I created the RACE formula, which is an acronym we're going to go to shortly. And you can learn more about in my book, Overcoming Procrastination, which specifically talks about how to break down your goals and overcome procrastination. But run in such a way as to get the prize. That means that you're going to get in the race. so many people I meet have goals or plans that they want to do things in their life. Again, set a resolution, but then they never really get into the race. They never really move themselves towards achieving that goal, or they do it for a short amount of time, but they don't finish the race. They don't run the race as if they're trying to win. Okay. And it doesn't mean that you have to win, but you have to at least put in the effort to win. All right. The third ancient text or scripture here is Ecclesiastes 9 and 11. I have seen something else under the sun. The race is not to the swift or the battle to the strong, nor does food come to the wise or wealth to the brilliant or favor to the learned, but time and chance happen to them all. Meaning here, again, I'm no preacher or anything like that, but I'm just pulling the essence of what we're talking about here is that when I get into this race, it doesn't mean that someone else who's faster or stronger, has more skills than me, is going to win the race. And I call it the Clint Barmes Effect, because as a baseball player, I had a guy on my team named Clint Barmes. Clint Barmes went to the Major League Baseball and played for the Rockies. He got him a World Series. So he did all those things, right? However, before we went to college, I was recruited higher than him. I had better skills than he did. So why is it someone who didn't have the same skills as I did ended up higher level than I was in the world of baseball? See, it doesn't go to those who are the swiftest or the strongest. I had those skills over him, but he got there. He won that race. Which was getting it to the major leagues. Now, there's a whole other reason why I didn't go there. We're not getting to that. The point is the Clint Barmes effect. Someone else who's just going to continue working hard, who's going to finish the race, even though they're not as strong as you, they're not as smart as you, they're not as talented as you. They stayed in there and they worked hard. They can still win, because we don't know where God's going to move you. We don't know who's going to get blessed in what way and why they got blessed. But we do know I do know, wholeheartedly believe you will be blessed to whatever God's supposed to give to you. Okay. Now, the fourth scripture here is 2 Timothy 4 and 7, which says, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now, that's the key thing here that I want to point out here is faith. I don't know what's coming for me. I don't know where all of the work that I'm doing is going to lead me to. I do have faith that where I'm going and what will happen for me is in my best interest. How do I know that? Because, as you heard, I have been that addict who was looking for an opportunity but I couldn't act out on. I had pipe dreams that I could never fulfill because I wasn't staying clean. However, when I got clean, I started working on myself differently, start addressing some of these pieces in me that I needed to change, start looking at my past, pulling out pieces of it that I could use, and start working on pieces that I needed to improve so that I could become the man God designed me to be. So that's what we're talking about here. That process never stops. And I first heard this idea from Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins, when he called the CANI, constant and never-ending improvement. That is the idea. There's another process we heard from Jeff Olson, one of my favorite book, talking about the compound effect. And it is what he's talking about here is 1% change and 1% increases consistently. Okay, meaning that the accumulation of all of my 1% changes and improvements lead to a drastic change at some point. There's going to be that hook upwards that's going to drastically shoot you up in life, but you're constantly moving those 1% because you don't know when or where that's going to happen. The same happens on the opposite direction. Okay. So if we continue to let something in our life that is not helping move us towards our goals or toward that vision that you've been given, then at some point you're going to get derailed, or you're going to have an anchor. If we're using this metaphor here, you're going to have this anchor that's pulling you down and stopping you from going as high as you would be able to go if you looked and assessed yourself, your behaviors, your actions from the last quarter, the last year, the last couple years, and said these types of behaviors, these types of thinking, these types of these emotions are stopping me and hindering me from becoming who I could definitely be. Okay, and those are the things we're going to look at first before we have a vision for the year. Look at the year and see how we're going to go out and fulfill our vision. We need to look at our past first. Now, from studying my personal experience and a scripture, I created the race formula from all these things. And I'm not going into detail about that strategy because I've already said you can grab a copy of that from the Overcoming Procrastination book. And you can also use the 30-day planner that you can download for free at darlandofortune.com/30-day planner. And that's the number 30, put 30-day planner. Okay, but let's go into what we want to talk about today, the assessments, so that you can create a better vision by becoming better. See, if Jim Rohn talks about don't wish things were easier, wish you were better. And the 3 steps we're going to go through here today, I'm going to describe you and ask you these questions. That's what you get your pen for, so you can write these questions down and answer them for yourself. When you become better, you become the person who achieves those goals. Okay? Don't wish things were easier, wish you were better. Here's how you become better. We look back, see where we have some deficiencies, see where we can improve, keep doing where we can keep doing the things that have been working, but also let's show some gratitude. That positive psychology really does wonders for your ability to have confidence in yourself, to improve your self-esteem, to make you feel good about the direction you're going, because there's this idea of life satisfaction continues to push you forward. If you're not happy with the direction of your life or where it might go, you're probably going to stop. So we want to do this positive psychology stuff to continue increasing that. So the first section here, let me get into the first section here, the 10 biggest wins, your quarterly review. Here's what the quarterly review looks like. This is, again, the first portion of the positive psychology. So it's going to look at what you've achieved, and it helps you to build the confidence to keep achieving. See, if you're doing this for the first time, then you want to review the last 12 months. As for these questions I'm going to ask you. Okay. And so going forward from here, you want to do this at least every quarter. So every 3 months or so, you want to ask yourself these questions to see if you need to make some adjustments in how you're living your life. Okay, so let's get into the first set of questions. Write these down. The first one is the 10 biggest wins in your life and business in the last quarter or last year. Okay. 3 accomplishments that you're most proud of from the last quarter. Next one, 3 mistakes you made last quarter that you never want to repeat. 3 top lessons you learned last quarter. 3 personal improvements or positive habits you made last quarter. 3 things you could have done better last quarter. 3 of your greatest influences that had an effect on your business last quarter or your employment. The smartest decision you made last quarter and why. The biggest decision you regret making last quarter and why. The most caring service you did last quarter. The biggest risk you took last quarter. Your greatest fear from the last quarter. The most important relationship you improved last quarter and how it changed. The one important relationship you didn't work hard enough on building last quarter. Relationships are important. Gotta work on them. Okay, we don't, as the saying goes, if you want to go fast, do it alone. If you want to go far, do it with someone else. Next question. 1 word that best describes last quarter's experiences and your meaning behind that word. All right, the next set of questions in this area is a brief. We're going to look forward a little bit. 3 things you must do less of in the next quarter. 3 things you must do more of in the next quarter. All right. Some gratitude here. 3 great people in your life. Write down 3 great people you have in your life. And then write down 3 people you love dearly. Okay. 3 things about your home and where you live that you're grateful for. 3 things about your work environment and what you do that you're grateful for. 3 things about your knowledge, experience, talents, and abilities, basically your skills that you're grateful for. And finally, 3 unexpected blessings that you received. All right, that is the quarterly review portion of this assessment, okay? Now, the second portion here is going to be a personal assessment. The idea for the personal assessment here is to look at your energy, to look at the different aspects of your life. And I have 8 areas broken down into 8 areas here that you're going to look at them and see where your life is imbalanced. So we talk about this idea of having life balance, and the thing about life balance is the word balance is a verb, meaning that your life is never truly going to be in balance. Or if it is in balance right now, the very act of going after a goal means you're going to push your life off balance. By default, it's going to be off balance. So the idea of having life balance is almost impossible, but you can continue to look for that balance in your life. Because that area of your life that you are forgetting or neglecting or not focusing on right now can be doing you harm, especially if you're not looking at it and seeing it. So things go fester for a long time until it becomes this sore or this hole or this wound that you now have to pay a lot more attention to in order to fix. Do you want that to be that part of your life right now? I doubt you want that to be that part of your life. You want it to be like that. So we want to take an assessment. I remember Napoleon Hill talks about people not wanting to assess their own life and how bad that could be because you're not wanting to look at your own life. So what you're going to do in this section is score yourself in these 8 areas that are currently, and then you're going to decide how you want them to look in the future. So we're going to kind of do some visioning and some casting of the future here in this section. Okay. So you're going to score yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being almost never true, 5 being almost always true. Okay. So just write a number down for this, and you're going to write down the first section is financial, and there are 5 questions for each one of these. Just write each of your number down. You don't have to write the question down here. Just write the numbers down for each of these. For financial area, I have no outstanding credit card balance and pay no interest on purchases. 1 through 5. 1 being almost never true, 5 being almost always true. Okay. Number 2, I have a full 6 months of reserve in an account. 1 to 5. Question 3, I set aside 10% for savings and 10% for future investments. Number 4, I live below my income. Number 5, I have insurance, will, and testaments prepared and updated. Those are the 5 questions for the financials. So we're going to move into business. So put a heading of business, and here are your 5 questions. Write down the numbers only. You don't have to write the questions down. Number 1, I love what I do daily. Give me a score of 1 to 5. Number 2, I have a vision for my future and a 90-day plan for my immediate goals. If you don't have one, we're going to be working on that today, right? Number 3, I schedule my days before I begin them. Another Jim Rohn quote. Don't begin your day until you finished it. Number 4, my vocation will provide enough to accomplish my goals for years to come. Vocation being the business you're in or businesses that you're in. Okay, score of 1 to 5. Question number 5, I continue to assess my strengths and weaknesses and improve my skills. Again, this is as it relates to your business. The next section, family. So write down family. Here are your questions to score yourself. 1, I have meaningful and loving relationships with friends and family. 2, I spend an average of at least an hour of quality time with my family each day. 3, I am trustworthy, dependable, and take responsibility for my actions. 4, I communicate openly and honestly with those I speak to. Again, we're talking about your family. 5, I learn how to be a personal spouse, a better spouse, parent, and friend, and practice what I learn. Okay, so of course, if you're not married, you're not a spouse. If you don't have kids, you're not a parent. Okay, so it relates here. Next section is mental. Here are your 5 questions to score yourself on. 1, I read for at least 10 minutes from a good book or article and listen to at least 30 minutes of good audio each day. Now, in the future for yourself, you may change those timings. So as it relates for you, you might want to read for 15 minutes a day or half an hour a day, and maybe only listen to a few minutes of audio. Okay. But some way of continuing to improve yourself mentally every day, even if it's 5 and 5, whatever may be moving forward for you. Okay. Question number 2, I have a coach or mentor whom I trust. 3, I stay true to my values regardless of the situation. 4, I surround myself with people of substance and value and remove myself from bad influences. 5, I keep current in my industry and updated in my field. All right. Social section. The next section is on social. Here are your 5 questions to score yourself. I regularly take time off from work for vacation and to attend events, like to go do stuff, right? 2, each week I pursue hobbies and adventures outside of my job or field. So do you actually have a life? Okay, you do some stuff that you enjoy. And some of you might just be your job or your business is some of your hobbies. You've turned it into a business. Okay. So 3, I spend as much time as I want with my friends and family. 4, I am present in my conversations and show up fully for friends and family. So you're not distracted when you're having conversations with them or talking on the phone with them. You're there. When you're hanging out with them, you're there. Number 5, I nurture positive relationships and share my appreciation regularly. Okay. Next section is spiritual. So the first question is, I donate some of my time each year to participate in volunteer work, just giving back in some capacity. And I don't mean just giving money, I'm talking about actually doing something, okay? Some type of help. 2, I express my gratitude for all that I've been given and count my blessings daily. 3, I forgive quickly and release my resentments daily. So we're not going to bed angry. We deal with those. We hanger that. I said hanger that. I handle that. All right. So 4, I journal or speak with someone I trust before my emotions overwhelm me. Okay. 5, I study and practice my spiritual beliefs daily, whatever they are, whatever your spiritual beliefs are. If that's meditation, if that's prayer, if that's kumbaya, whatever it may be, do you practice them daily? All right, number 6, or section 6 is physical. Your 5 questions to score yourself are, I stretch or perform yoga at least 3 times a week and break a good sweat from exercise or strength training at least 3 times a week, whatever they may be for you. Body weight exercises, going to the gym, walking, swimming, hiking, yoga, Pilates, something that you're doing. Number 2, I step outside and get some sunlight on my face each day. Yo, there's something about the sunlight. Did you know in our skin, we actually have these photoreceptors similar to what plants have, so that we literally get energized from sunlight. Our body receives energy from sunlight. You need to get some of that on your face. Number 3, I drink at least 3 liters of clean water each day and get at least 7 hours of deep sleep each night. Now, you may not get you're not staying in deep sleep state for 7 hours. That means you're daggone comatose. But it does mean you're actually getting a full night's rest. And that 3 liters of water is it depends on your body types, your size, and so forth. The number typically is if you're in pounds, take half your weight in pounds and turn that into ounces. So myself, I weigh 172 pounds. And so half of that is 86. So I need to drink at least 86 ounces of water. Okay. That's what is recommended for me. I'm not the best at that. I do my best though. Number 4, I get up in regular intervals from my desk and move around and limit TV watching to less than an hour a day. Okay. I definitely have an issue with both of those. I still do. I have improved though. I got a standing desk that I use sometimes. All right, number 5, I eat healthy, well-balanced meals and no junk or processed foods. Is that, again, we're scoring ourselves on a scale of 1 to 5. Almost never true is 1, and almost always true is 5. Okay, so we're just trying to see a score. All right, the final category is higher power. Higher power. The 5 scores here, 5 questions to score yourself on. 1, I spend at least 30 minutes of each day in prayer and meditation. 2, I live by my spiritual principles in all my affairs. 3, I continue to build upon my relationships with my higher power. You can call higher power whatever you want to call it. The universe, energy, light. 4, I constantly consult my higher power for instruction. 5, I lean on my higher power to guide me with difficult people and to help others. Okay? Because sometimes you're like, God, help me. Give me the strength. Right? All right. So now what I have here is I created a wheel. You can do it for yourself however you want to. You can put a circle on your page in all 8 of those categories right there. So what you're going to do is kind of get an average score of all those, or you can add them up however you want to do it. As far as that goes, the goal here is to see how well balanced or how well rounded you are in your life. So you take the higher power. If you add up all your scores and they came up to the highest going to be is 25. Okay. So in the center of this circle would be 0, and you're going to go all the way, draw a line all the way out to higher power. So again, you have the circle, and you put in all 8 categories around the circle, and you're going to draw a line from the center to each category, right? To the name of each category. And on that line, it's going to be basically a scale from 0 to 25, 0 to 25. And you're going to add up your score from each of the categories you just went through and put yourself on that scale. 0 being the center, 25 being basically all the way out to whatever the label is. Okay. And then you're going to put a little dot there in that area to mark off where your score was for that section. Then you're going to connect the dots. Go around from just going around counterclockwise, clockwise, doesn't really matter. Just connect those dots and see if you come out well-rounded or if you got some jagged edges in your life. So if you have some jagged on your edges in your life, and more than likely you do, the next step is to help you start creating some more balance in your life, or to pick up on those areas. If you think that certain area of your life that doesn't really need any more work, you're fine with it is, it's not causing problems right now, then you don't do anything about it. But we can at least look at what we could possibly do if we wanted to change that area. So what you're going to do now is you're going to create a vision, 3 to 5 goals that you're going to set for each of those 8 categories. Okay, so just use your imagination and design the ideal quarter for the next 90 days. What would be ideal? You're going to list out 5 goals in each category. So what would you like to accomplish over the next quarter in each of the following areas? So go through financial, business, family and relationships, mental, social, contribution, which is basically giving back, right? And physical. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. And the last one is higher power. I'm about to say I'm missing one there. There he goes. Higher power. So what will be 5 goals you try to do in each of those areas? And we're just brainstorming, putting these ideas down here. It doesn't mean you're going to go after all of them. That's not what you're going to do. You're definitely not going to go out after all of them. But once you've done that, your next step is to design your complete vivid vision. So here's what that means. If you want to go even further with this exercise, take a day to design your ideal life. So you can take all those 5 goals from each of those 8 areas. So you have 40 goals, at least 3 from each one. So 24 to 40 goals, right? For each of those areas. And if you want to go deeper, this is like a bonus section, it's to create an ideal day in your life. Okay. And the point here is that you have started implementing everything you've done, you suggested in your vision for the next quarter. And you're going to say, this is what my life would look like if I did these things. Okay. So you want to write this all out. That's a bonus section. You don't have to do that, but it does help to be able to envision how your life is going to change. All right. So we're going to move into the third section here. The third section is an action plan. So we're going to do something with the vision and the ideas that we have of what our life could look like in the next quarter. And we're actually going to plan it out. Okay. We're going to plan out a 90-day runs because they are more accurate than 12-month runs. Okay. It's much easier for you to see and stay committed to something for the next 90 days than it is to say, I'm going to do this for the whole next year. But you can set a goal for the year to do certain things, and every quarter you recommit to it. Okay. Very few people I've met in my life, very, very, very few people I've met in my life can stay completely disciplined on something. Very, very few people are that disciplined. So we can stay committed for 90 days. Let's make a 90-day commitment. You can see the vision. You can see where you're going to be in 90 days and have a good idea what it looks like. Because think about this. The end of the year last year, if you were going after goals, and someone who's a high achiever, and usually I attract high achievers to my show, to my trainings. Are you the same person? Did you hit all the same goals? Were you imagine you were going to be at the end of the year? Most likely you are not. A lot of things changed that you did not foresee happening. So we created that you can create a plan for the year. No problem with that. It's actually good to create a plan for a year, 5 years, 10 years, what it may be for your life. Okay. Usually eulogy to see how you want to be remembered. All those things help. But when it comes down to what am I going to do? What are you going to do? Focus on the next 90 days because it's something you can commit to and you can see clearly where you're going to be in 90 days. It's much easier to see. The vision for a year, it takes a lot of work, a lot of visioning, a lot of reflection to be able to visualize where you're going to be in a year and stay committed to that. Most of the time it's a fuzzy picture at best, but I can see 90 days from now clearly. Doesn't mean it's going to hit it perfectly, but I can see it clearly. And it's easier to stay committed to something that I can see clearly. So plan the next 90 days. What we're going to do here is prioritize your goals based on the assessment that you just took, okay, in the last section, and then turn those into action steps. So the first 2 sections you saw, there's some things that you did well and that you're grateful for, people you've met, people you didn't meet, things that you did that you probably want to keep doing, things you don't want to do anymore, you want to stop doing. we've done all that in the quarterly review and the personal assessment. You noticed areas of your life that you're doing well in, and maybe you want to maintain that. And there may be some other areas of your life that you saw, oh, I slipped on this. I probably need to start doing something before it starts really affecting me. See, if we look at it early enough, it doesn't get too bad that we're trying to make up and catch up. We can make adjustments now every 90 days. The same thing that you want to do from that you saw in that wheel, you're going to start taking priorities about what you want to do for the next quarter. Okay, so this is how we're going to do that. This is your action plan step. Okay, so you're going to first take all 24 or 40 goals that you wrote down, right, for the vision, and you're going to identify your top 10. Identify your top 10 from that. Okay, once you've identified your top 10, you're going to narrow it down even more. Narrow it down to your top 3 or 4 goals. Top 3 or 4 goals. Now, I can hear you saying, but I need to do all of these. It's okay. You're doing it. You're just doing it for the next 90 days. Because in 90 days, you may have achieved some of those goals of all 3 of these goals that you're going to go after now. So now you can go pull something. And if it's still a problem in the next quarter, then it's going to be on your list again. And you maybe work on it in the next quarter. You're going to achieve more by focusing in on 3 or 4 things than you would if you tried to do all 10 of them in 90 days. Focus in on those, give your full attention. You will go faster, stronger, and get better results by narrowing your focus and your energies onto these few tasks, so that when it comes around to the next quarter, you can add or subtract, shift, change in the next quarter. It's only 90 days. You're not going to have that much change in your life, more than likely, in 90 days. Things are not going to get that much worse. If they are, then you need to shift in the middle of your 90 days, okay? But more than likely, they're not. Okay? So choose your top 3 or 4. And then from there, here are the questions you're going to answer for each of those 3 or 4 goals, okay? For each of those goals. The first question you're going to ask is, what kind of person accomplishes this goal? Who do you need to become to achieve this goal? Because when you identify the character traits, the personality, the belief systems of the person who achieves that goal, it's much easier to create the right habits if you don't have them. Because you may already have them, which is the bonus, which is awesome. But if you don't, you might need to do some work. You might need some learning. You might need a new coach. You might need a new course, a book that's going to help you develop that characteristic, okay? So the second question is, for each of these goals, each of the 4 goals you chose, what habits and disciplines do you already have that will help? And how can you improve them? Okay? So just write down 1 or 2 things. The third question, what habits or disciplines are you missing that's going to help you achieve that goal? Okay? The fourth question, what habits or disciplines do you need to quit for you to achieve that goal? There probably might be something you're doing right now that's not going to help you achieve that particular goal. Okay? Do you do that for all 3 or 4 goals, however many you chose? The next section here is your performance, what I call performance pushers. So for the first 90 days, I recommend you only implement 1 habit each 30 days. So these are your performance pushers. They're going to push your performance forward. These are basically your habits. So these will be your performance pushers. They will move you towards your next skill level. In athletics, we call these periodization. So the idea of periodization is this, that if I want to improve playing basketball, if I want to improve my shooting, all right, I decide I go to a coach who's going to help me improve my shooting. And so we may break down the shooting into several things. One might be position of the ball. So how do I get the ball into the shooting spot? Boom, boom, boom. No matter what move I've been doing before that, how do I get to the same spot every time? The second step might be the follow through. Okay. And the third one might be getting my balance, getting my feet under me. So when I'm going to shoot the ball, I'm in the same spot. Boom. I'm going up the same way. Boom. Right. So those are the 3 things that I need to do. I need to get the ball right here. I need to follow through on the shot, and I need to jump balanced. Those are my 3 things. Well, you don't necessarily work on all three of those things every single day. For periodization to work, when we're talking about high performance at a higher level, you break down each of those sections, all three steps, for about a 30-day run. So I may spend 30 days that are strictly just focusing on, boom, getting my hands into the right spot. The next 30 days, I might focus on follow through with the floater, follow through on the fadeaway, follow through when I'm shooting coming in for a layup, right? How am I following through right there? How am I going to improve my follow through? I might do different drills that are specifically working on snapping my wrist, having my hand fully whatever. Okay, I'm not necessarily the best basketball player. I just know the simple drills. Okay, what am I going to do? Maybe I get a heavy ball to work on my wrist snap so that I can shoot from a longer distance. Maybe I get there's all types of stuff. Okay. The next step might be, again, how do I get my footwork right? So my balance and every shot I take, I have my body square my shoulder square to the basket, my feet are under me, and I'm jumping straight up and straight down. So that means I might work on coming off the screens. I might work on doing a spin move. I might work on a quick step or jab step sideways or whatnot. How do I continue to get my balance? So I would focus on learning and improving that section of the jump shot for 30 days. And overall, over the next 90 days, I've improved my entire shot. That's what they use at a high level called periodization when you're at elite level athletes. Okay, that's how we help them improve. So you can do the same thing, the same concept when it comes to your business or life or whatever you're trying to improve. Use periodization. So we're going to create the right habits to improve our business. So what that might look like for someone as a business owner is that you want to improve your leads. Now, maybe there are 3 parts to improving the number of leads you get in. 1 might be content creation. 2 might be how do I sell my lead magnets or my course. 3 might be how do I create automation. So I might spend the next 30 days really focusing on getting content and creating a system for producing content, however long that may take. Okay. The next one on how do I work into everything I say, all of my content, all of my time, every time I present, every time I have a conversation, how do I make sure I plug in or promote my lead magnet or some course or offer that I have right now. I get very good at working into my regular conversation and everything I do. The third thing might be making sure I have everything automated on the back end as far as my email follow-up sequences, customer relationship manager. Like I really focus in on doing that. So now over the next 90 days, I've improved all of my lead, getting leads and capturing lead and following up with leads all in next 90 days. If I focus on those things, hyper focus on them, it might not take 30 days for each one of them, but it might be 3 weeks to fix one, the next 7 weeks for the next one, and a couple weeks for the next one, whatever it may be, however it works out. The point is you focus on that, hyper focus on it to really improve it and make it a part of your business, okay? Now, same thing might go for health. Like I'm going to keep giving all these different examples. I think you get the point. What are you going to do? What habits do you need to create? What routine do you need to create in order to become the person that get these results automatically? What habits do you need to create? What routine do you need to create in order to build that habit into who you are? Okay? Performance pushers. Finally, we're going to get into the race formula. Again, you can find more details on the race formula by picking up my book, Overcoming Procrastination. But the idea here is this. We're going to take each one of those goals again, and we're going to break them down. The first is what I call checkpoints. So over the next 90 days, you're going to have 3 to 5 checkpoints along the way. So you got about 13 weeks. So every 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to check in saying, have I moved you're going to assess yourself on how you are moving towards hitting your goal. Okay. So what are those days and how much improvement are you expecting at each one of those intervals? Okay. You also want to look at what else do you need and when do you need each of these people? Who else do you need? When do you need those people? What do you need to know that you don't know right now? And what do you need to have that you don't have right now to hit that goal? And maybe you have all of them, maybe you don't, but you're going to assess that. So that's your checkpoints and your needs. Do that for each of your goals. And then from your checkpoints, you're going to create your action steps. Okay? You're going to create your action steps. So if you have a checkpoint you set for 2 weeks from today, that you're going to hit, you need to hit 20% of your goal or whatever it may be, or you need to have a hit, close 3 deals, or you want to have lost or removed 5 pounds of excess fat, whatever it may be, then what are your top 3 actions that you're going to take to help hit that goal over the next 2 weeks? And those actions may become in the form of something you do every day, and maybe there's some other thing that you may need to do in it. So there may be habits that you do every day, or excuse me, actions that you take every day or periodically, just regularly, or there's going to be some action that you need to do one time, like you maybe need to fill out some paperwork, or you need to file, whatever, connect with someone, whatever it may be. It's going to be about 3 to 5 actions. So you do that for each of your goals, 3 to 5 actions for each of those goals. And some of those actions might have sub steps in them. So you might write those sub steps down. Okay. Do that for all 3 or 4 of the goals that you have set. That, my friends, is how you set your goals, and you're going to have better results, the best year yet, by doing this every quarter. That seems like a lot of work. It may take you the course of 2 days to do this. That's fine. Spend a weekend and just get it done. You're going to have so much more clarity, be so much more confident that you're going to be able to hit your goals because you've done this work. You've done the work that most people will not do. And therefore, you're going to get the results that most people do not get. Now, I do have a little bonus section here that I want to give you, and this is addressing the doubt. I call this addressing the doubt, because the idea here is that you want to coach yourself daily by addressing your doubts or potential problems in your business. And there's something you're going to see if you decide to go get the 30-day planner. You're going to see the winner philosophy on the right side of the daily plan. Okay, what that is about reviewing each day to see what worked that day, what went well, what worked. So we're going to talk about that. You want to write it down, so it's like celebrate, right? A little positive psychology. The I stands for improve. What part of your day or did you do that day that you want to improve upon? And maybe every day is not any big major improvement, and maybe your day went beautifully and you don't have anything to improve upon. So just say nothing. Okay, it's okay. But you do want to find something that you worked well. That one, you want to find something in your day that went well, okay? But the improvement, maybe you don't want to improve anything. It went well. The N stands for anything of note that was noteworthy. Okay. What happened the day that you want to remember? Now, part of that noting things from the day is also going to help you with your sales. It's going to help you with the gratitude, or it's going to help you with your assessment from this, because you're going to start becoming aware of the little God nudges in your day, or the funny moments in your day, or maybe something sad that happened, or something that was unexplainable that happened, and you have a note of it. So it's a different way of being able to journal your day, and maybe you have a journal you can go deeper into it if you wanted to, but at least you noted something in there, and you get into a habit of noticing your life. You're not just going through it. Okay. Now the A stands for action. Okay. There's actually 3 A's. What action you're going to plan on taking for the next day based on what happened today? What action you're going to take tomorrow? What adversities do you see might come up, and how are you going to overcome that adversity? So what problems might stop you from taking that action, and how are you going to overcome it? And then the last one is assess yourself, like how committed to getting that done are you? If it's something you're not going to be committed to doing, you probably need to not be in action. Okay. All right. So the others, again, the addressing the doubt here also is reading or listening to your personal statements regularly. So in the 30-day planner that you'll be able to get for free, you see there's going to be a section in there before you get into the actual planning of each day. There's a page that has your personal assessment in it, personal statements in it. Now, in your personal statements, there are some directions for you to be able to fill that out to tell you exactly what it is. But here's the thing. You have your personal identity statement or your mission statement. So what are you living for? Who do you identify as? What type of characteristics do you want to be remembered for and become the person, the man or woman that you want to be? Okay. The second one is my one word. What is your one word for the next 30 days, 90 days, and why you chose that word? The third one is your commitment statement. You commit to being what type of individual by achieving what goals. And then you want to make sure you have sent that to someone. Who is your accountability partner? It can be your mom if you want to. I remember who used to be my mom back in the day. All right. And then you want to make a list of your affirmations or prayers. Your goal here is every day to read this statement or to record yourself saying it. And that way you can just listen to it while you're jogging, listen to it on your way to the office or whatnot. And you're constantly reinforcing these ideas, the person you're trying to become, the mission you're trying to fulfill, what your one word is, so you can make sure it becomes clear. Your idea for this year, your theme for the year or the next 30 days is around one word, and you're trying to implement that in all areas of your life. And then your affirmations, things that constantly reinforcing the belief sets, the philosophies, the psychologies that you want to embrace as an individual. Okay. Now, finally here, I want to say this. I want to reinforce this. You don't have to change a lot every day. Your minor changes will have a compounding effect. Your minor changes have a compound effect. Minor changes make major shifts or major transformations, if you like that. I think I like that better. Minor changes will create major transformation. Okay? Minor changes every day create major transformations. So think about the minor improvements as you continue today using this, and you think about that over the course of your life. If you every day are doing something to improve a little bit, and every quarter you're constantly assessing and seeing how can I improve and become a little bit better in next quarter, then over the course of several years, you will have drastically improved your life. Holistically, all around, you will completely and drastically change your life over other people. Somebody else might have blasted their business, but now their health is off. Somebody else might have focused on their health, but they don't have any money. Somebody else might have built all the relationships, but now they're not really happy spiritually. The next person might fall into their spirituality, but yet the relationships are gone because they went off into just doing them, and now they lost connection with other people. Whatever it may be, you have now constantly looked at how your life is changing, and you are intentionally making adjustments to your life to become the individual God designed you to be and to fulfill the vision that was blessed, you were blessed with having. Okay. Use this, go back with the recording and just answer the questions and fill all this out. All right. Now, again, the assessment that we just covered is a portion, the first portion of my full planner. And to get a copy of it right now, you must be one of my clients. So you can't get a copy of it right now. Right now. Who knows what the future may hold? If enough people say, I want that, then I guess I'll make it available. Okay. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to keep it away from y'all, because if y'all want it, you probably need to have it. Okay. But you can get a 30-day sample. So it doesn't have all the full assessment we went over today. That's why I did it here in this video. But you have the rest of the personal statements and tracking your goals and your daily planner and your weekly review, which you should be doing with an accountability partner regularly. Okay. You can get all of that at darlandofortune.com/30-day planner. That's the number 30-day planner. Okay. Go there and grab a copy of the sample planner, the Fortune planner. All right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up right there. This has been so much fun getting this together for you today, sharing this. I've never shared this with anyone outside of my clients, so this is the first time doing this because I just see coming out of what we've been going through for the last couple of years. I think it's very important that we start assessing ourselves, because a lot of people are seeing it's time to do something in their life, that they realize that you have realized that your life isn't as long as you thought it might be, that the opportunities that are coming for you, you have to make for yourself. That it's time for you to become that individual that does and accomplishes more, that finally starts fulfilling your dreams. This can be the year. I want it to be the best year yet. And you can say that every year. Every year can be the best year yet because you're constantly improving. So with that being said, you can be, you can do, you can have anything you want in this world. You've just got to believe. You can live a life of no doubt, just blessings. And we'll show you how. Always remember. Always remember, I love saying this, you're only one book away from the next breakthrough in your life, on your business. So go out there and make life happen every day. God bless. And I'll talk to y'all next time.